Today I wanted to talk about some books that I'm reading. There's a lot of books on the topics of hiking and backpacking and through hiking, and they're always really inspiring books. There's definitely some books that have gotten more attention over the last few years that have inspired movies. So books like Wild by Cheryl Strayed and that one by Bill Bryson. I'll show the covers to both of these up here. Anyways, I wanted to bring some attention to some other books that are on the subject of hiking the Pacific Crest Trail or the Appalachian Trail. There's a ton of books on both of those trails alone. And I haven't got any of these ones yet, but I would like to find books on other trails. So the book that I'm currently reading is, I'm not going to put it on screen, the physical copy, because the cover is the library copy, so the cover is kind of gross, and the barcode has the name of the library system of which where I live, and I don't really want to out my location. Anyways, so the book is called Thirst, 2,000 Miles Home by Heather Anish Anderson. I only started reading this book this morning. I'm about an hour in, and it is a really riveting read. So the premise is basically she is hiking the Pacific Crest Trail and she's trying to break the world record. I'm at the point in the book where she's just gotten to Kennedy Meadows South and she's about to tackle the high Sierras. It's kind of an intense read because you're like, oh man, I mean, obviously she keeps going because I'm like, not even halfway through the book, but she's definitely struggling on the waterfront. But like a lot of other memoirs and books of that kind of nature, she does also kind of talk a little bit about childhood and how she was a fat kid growing up and how her gym teacher uh, kind of dismissed her efforts to run 2 miles and how she had to write an essay for a gym class. And in that essay, she basically said her athletic goal was to like be a record breaker. And it's really neat to see how she's taken that childhood reflection and applied it to her adult life. Uh, anyway, so this Thirst was published in 2019, I believe, and then she wrote another book that was published in 2021, and that one is called Mud, Rocks, Blazes, Letting Go on the Appalachian Trail. So that's the next one that I'll start reading after I finish Thirst. So that's my little spiel on Thirst. So the second half of this video, I will be talking about Mud, Rocks, Blazes. Before I get into that, I am going to go take the dog out and invite you to come with us. So next time you see me, we will be on a trail. Okay, so I'm back. I have read both of the books. I've read Thirst, 2,600 Miles to Home, which that's the correct title. And then the other book, Mud, Rocks, Blazes, both, again, like I said earlier, are by Heather Anish Anderson. And I really enjoyed reading both of these books. I would recommend both. And I would also recommend reading Thirst and then reading Mud Rocks Places, mostly because of that's just the order in which that she hiked the trails. And in the beginning of Mud Rocks Places, she does talk a little bit about her experience after completing the Pacific Crest Trail. So, from that sense, it just makes sense to read them in that order. When I got the two books, I didn't know that. I just took a look at the copyright page and saw that one book was published before the other, and then read them in the order of publication. So, Mud Rocks Blazes was published in 2021. First was from 2019. And I believe she did the two trails about a year apart. Of the two, I would say that I personally enjoyed reading Thirst a little bit more. I think it took me, I think I read Thirst in about a day, which is pretty quick. And Mud Rocks Blazes took me 2 days, I think. 3 days. Took me 3 days. And it is slightly longer. I think they're both around 200 pages, but I think Mud Rocks Places is like 230 or something, and then I think Thirst is like 212, 211, something like that. Don't quote me. But I really enjoyed both of them. And I think one of the things that I enjoyed is that she documents some of the internal struggles in a way where you're really rooting for her, and that really keeps you engaged throughout the story. And I think that's more so true of Thirst than it was for Mud Rocks Blazes. I think in Mud Rocks Blazes she was quite hard on herself at times, and I I was starting to feel bad for her. It's like at times she was really, really down, and yeah, it's like I wanted to give her a hug, but I can't because it's a book. Um, but I really enjoyed both, and I think if you are looking to read a book on through hiking and accomplishments and all of that, I would recommend both of them. And I've got another book on my stack of books that I will be reading, but not talking about in this video, and that is Grandma Gatewood's Walk by Ben Montgomery. And it's basically about a little old lady who goes on a massive adventure. And I think it'll be interesting to read because it was written about a woman who was, well, I mean, a great grandmother. She was 67, and she just basically had this idea that she wanted to do something, and she just went, I'm gonna go do that thing. Which is kind of in the spirit of the other two books that I've just read. Just people who are maybe not likely candidates, although Heather Anna Sanderson is an ultramarathon runner and all of these things. Like, she is definitely a capable person, but she also has some struggles. She's got some physical stuff, as well as some stuff happened on trail in both of the books. So, just people coming up against their odds and crushing their goals, which is always awesome. Anyways, I'm gonna say goodbye, and I will see you next week. I'm thinking I will be doing some cooking for my next video. I want to talk a little bit about food prep and share some food ideas for backcountry camping and backpacking. So that will be the next video that I will put out. And I think I will also be talking about some gear stuff in the coming videos as well. I do have some stuff on order that I would like to test out, so I think that will be making its way into a video once I get that stuff and once I get the time to actually go out and use that stuff. So I do have some ideas. They are coming. I will be making some videos. But until then, I hope you have a fantastic week, month, day, year, whatever.